Here we go. I'm almost tempted to turn this into a hangout day. But wait, because I've got something planned for that. Uh, yeah. Anyway, yes, this is a spoken word poem. It's called A Mountain of Faith. Lenard Charles was a prophet with prophecies, a cult leader that put it another way. A direct line to God, he claimed. 500 people in his religious psychosis, members of his holy vision. Leonard wrote his own holy tome for the 21st century, a Reader's Digest compression of the Bible, copy and paste sections of the Koran, quotes from every known religious text from around the world. Every word in his holy book was attributed to him. His poor rich followers, isolated from the evils of the world for years and years and years, everything his followers knew came from his lips. Well, the text department came knocking, and worried relatives of his followers were demanding. Lenard Charles began sweating holy inspiration. He proclaimed to his followers, it was a sign from God. The end of the world was finally coming. Lenard Charles and his followers did a midnight runner, relocated to the wilderness at the foot of a mountain. It was always a mountain in cult leaders' visions from God. But could find out why. Out in the wilds, far from civilization, Lenard Charles' followers started complaining when the food rations began to dwindle and their tents began to leak. Reformation started crackling around the campfires. Lenard Charles calmed his followers by calling on God for guidance. 3 days and 3 nights he prayed. Golden mushrooms and boiling water rewarded him with enlightenment. The chemical spirit of the divine was in Lenard Charles, resulting in him actually hearing God. No one else could hear God, of course. He told his followers they could never return to civilization. The police, the tax department, and community service were after him. So on a clear blue day, after the rain had passed, on the 17th of the month, Lenard Charles and his followers climbed to the top of the mountain to wait out the end of the world. On top of the mountain, at 10:30 at night, hypothermia began to take hold, and the world was still there at the bottom of the mountain. No signs of God taking revenge, only snowflakes falling from the heavens. Lenard Charles had to think real quickly. He turned things around by proclaiming the snowflakes were a secret message from God. This day was a practice run, and God was testing them. 3 more weeks went by. Lenard Charles and his followers climbed up to the top of the mountain. With shaking limbs, back down they came, blackened, toed steps over and over again. It all came to an end when his followers turned on him. They bashed Lenard Charles and tied him to a tree, left him on top of the mountain's peak. His ex-followers climbed down and called the police. Thus Lenard Charles' prophecies were made reality. The cult leader's cult ceased to exist, and Lenard Charles' world had come to an end. There you go. I know it's bad, but it's bad in a holy way. Unholy? Whatever. Take it easy.